Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new edition of American Grunge News. Here with my co-host Marie. As you can see, it's very cold in Ohio. We had some kind of Arctic blast come through. So people were asking me, why are you wearing gloves in your video? Well, that's because it's cold. Another thing you might be saying is, why are you wearing a Bengals hat? Well, you have to stick with your team regardless, right? I feel like the Bengals is like, if they don't win a Super Bowl, they suck. That's how people talk about them. It's like they've been a pretty good team for the last few years, and they've broken a lot of records. Just because they didn't win a Super Bowl doesn't mean they're a crappy team, right?
Well, considering they were working with a backup quarterback, they ended up doing pretty well.
Yeah, they did. I thought they did pretty well. I thought, isn't it weird though? I know this is grunge news, but isn't it weird that that guy has the same initials and he's number 6? So he's number 6, Joe Burrow's number 9, and they have JB is their initials. Like, it's like yin
I
and
had not
yang,
noticed
right?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have come to you today with some new articles that we would like to talk about within the grunge world. If you'd like me to go first, I'll go first.
No, I'm good. I got some stuff.
You're good? All right.
Yeah. Well, the first thing I wanted to talk about, I don't know how much of this detail you got, but the Coachella lineup is out. And there were some interesting tidbits if you read all the way past all the people that I've never heard of. No Doubt is reuniting for that show. The original
No doubt.
4 people. Yep. So Gwen Stefani, Tony, Tom, and Adrian all back together for the Coachella show 2024. Blink 182 is on there.
Cool.
And also Sublime. And Sublime is going to play with Bradley Knowles' son, Jacob.
What? Yeah. That's pretty cool. I was a Sublime fan, but I wasn't a huge Sublime fan. I didn't even know Bradley Knowles had a son. So
and I guess he's done some stuff with them in the past. So, but they've made it official that he's going to play with them, and they're going to do Coachella 2024.
He's doing the John Bonham's son ended up being the drummer for Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, and Leonard Skinner, his brother, took over.
So. Right. The greatest Southern rock band from California. Oh no, wait, that was Creedence Clearwater Revival.
No, they were. He was originally from Florida, but they kind of formed their sound in Alabama.
Yeah, I was thinking of CCR. Really everybody thought they were like from the Bayou, and they were from Southern California.
California, yeah, like the Eagles. Okay, so the next thing, unless you wanted to talk more about that, I just found that interesting.
Is there any metal bands playing Coachella?
Not that I saw, but I did not.
Probably not.
I mean, I guess, but not anything that I was interested in. So I kind of, that was a fast scroll.
So the headliners were like mainly like DJs and rap artists, and I think Coachella's always kind of been more toward the rave crowd, hasn't it?
Yeah, and it's not. That's what I say. It's not anything that was normally my thing. So I was just kind of scrolling, but I did find it interesting that they had this kind of 90s vibe going on a little section.
Yeah.
And then the next thing that I am actually looking forward to. Okay, so Anthony Kiedis, lead singer Red Hot Chili Peppers, he wrote a memoir, and his memoir has been optioned to become a movie. They're going to make a movie about Anthony Kiedis.
I would watch that.
I thought was pretty. Me too. I would definitely watch that. So just from the article here.
Can I add something to this?
So go for
it. The reason why I find this so interesting is, aside from Anthony Kiedis being a rock star, celebrity, poet, he had a very interesting life. His father was a dealer for celebrities in Hollywood. So he grew up with celebrities in his house partying. I think his father took him to a brothel at the age of 12. Did you know that? Like, yeah.
Well,
he had a wild life.
I heard it was crazy. Yeah.
Not like a crappy place. Like, he took him to like a high class call girl.
I was gonna say high end parties.
Right. But his dad's name's Blackie Dammit. That's what he goes by, and he was a drug dealer to the stars.
Interesting. Well, I mean, and that does dovetail, because in the article it says the studio is promising an adaptation of the book that will be a shockingly candid portrait of an artist, addict, and ringleader. and contains a deeply unconventional father and son story.
Yeah.
Set against a substance-fueled 70s and 80s LA punk scene. This story examines without judgment how all of his experiences shaped the music that was eventually embraced by millions. So, and he does mention, because at first he said he was, after the book came out, he was almost like regretful that he had written it. And then he started getting the feedback about people who were reading it in hospitals and prisons and schools, and it was like helping them. And, you know, I think he even says here that whatever shame, pain, and difficulty or discomfort I went through, then it was worth it because I get so many people coming up to me saying their kids had read it and it got their act together because of it.
There's no good without bad and no bad without good. Like some people might be like, oh, I want to be raised by a cool drug dealer dad that hangs out with rock stars and actresses but then you find out about all the terrible things that he went through and you're like, oh wait, everybody goes through bad shit, you know. I've always found him an interesting character anyway.
Next headline, and this one actually interests me. I may get to participate in this personally. Bush is announced some dates on their tour. They're going to be touring for their Loaded Greatest Hits. I actually saw Bush when they first toured
in 94, 5, something like that.
It was, I think it was 95. The thing that interested me most is who's opening for them, because it's Candlebox and hello, Jerry Cantrell.
Oh, so not Alice in Chains, just Jerry Cantrell himself.
Right.
Which would still be very interesting.
Yes. I will definitely be interested in that. So I sent that to my my family member because there is an Indianapolis show in August. So I'm going to see if I can work that out.
I wonder if they're going to come to like Columbus or Cincinnati.
They are going to be in Cincinnati at Riverbend, 8/14.
Man, that's around my birthday too. I might have to go to that myself.
There you go.
I know that people are like, Bush wasn't grunge, and I think we talked about Stone Temple Pilots and all the shit they got in the last video. But if you don't like the song Glycerine, you're lying. Like, it's one of those songs that everybody likes.
Absolutely. And as an actual Gen Xer, when that band came out, everybody loved them. Now, not my metal rocker brother, but all my friends, all of us that were into grunge, we all liked Bush. We went and saw them at Bogart's. I mean, we paid money to see them live.
Yeah.
So I don't care.
How were they live?
Now, looking back, try to say, great. They were good. I mean, I enjoyed it.
Their drummer is a very, I don't know his name, maybe you do, but he's a very underrated drummer. I've learned some Bush songs, and I had to print the drum sheet music out because he's kind of like Sean Keeney. Like, he throws things in that don't repeat. Yeah. He's a really good drummer. I remember I watched Bush live with my friend Ryan, who's now an audio engineer in Nashville, by the way. He had a gig at the Grand Ole Opry about a year ago. He was like, he does sound engineering, but he was my guitarist in our high school band, and we were both basketball jocks too. So we played basketball and we had a band, and people couldn't figure us out. You know what I mean? They're like, these guys are weird. But we watched that MTV performance where Gavin Rosdale had his shirt off and it started raining and he did the Glycerine. And then like every girl across the world fell in love with this dude because he played that song with his shirt off in the rain, right? It was almost,
it didn't hurt.
It was almost like it was set up, like it was fake rain, you know? It's like, come on. But anyway,
they didn't do that kind of stuff.
You know, there was probably a time in my life where I was like, screw Bush. But they're all right. I mean, they were a good band. I only like their one album, but you know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that one album was really good.
I don't know if that was their first. It was called 16 Stone, right?
Yeah, that was their big one. That was the first one that they had that was big in the US. I don't know what had gone on before then. Yeah,
I've heard that UK people have said he's way more famous over there than he is in the United States.
Well, makes sense.
They treat him like, you know, like royalty. And then he ends up with Gwen Stefani.
Yeah.
I liked Gwen Stefani. I never had a crush on her or anything like that, but I thought she was a great singer. And I was really upset when she went down the hip hop road.
Yeah, because No Doubt was awesome.
Ska bands. There was like this period during the 90s. Remember the Mighty Boss Tones? Some other, there was like this ska punk thing that happened for like 2 minutes. Yeah, that's what I always thought of No Doubt. I put them in that category. Bush
Okay.
16 Stone. If you've never listened to it, if you're a younger person watching, you should check out that particular album. My favorite, what is your favorite song from that album? Do you remember? Let me
No,
give you
I
some
mean,
choices. They had a song called Come Down. They had Glycerine. They had
yeah.
Everything
Yes,
Then I
yes,
Don't Think
yes,
So. That was a good song.
yes,
I don't
yeah.
remember the name of the song, but the last song, full song on that album, something about aliens. I'm an alien, you're an alien. It's a beautiful rain. I fucking loved that song. I'll put it in the description below. I'll link the video to the song I'm talking about.
Ex-girlfriend. I think ex-girlfriend.
Well,
was the last
ex-girlfriend
song.
was like a real short one right at the end. The song right
Oh,
before that.
Alien. It was Alien. It was called
It was
Alien.
called Alien. Okay.
Yeah.
The song, you have to listen
Machine
to it.
Head was pretty good.
Yeah, Machine Head was
Little
a great
Things was
song.
good.
Little Things.
Yeah.
The whole album
It
was
was a
good.
decent album.
The
I'm gonna
whole
say
album was
not
good.
as good as Everclear.
We'll talk about them in a different video.
That's right. Oh, I can do a whole lot on them. Okay. So the next news article that caught my attention. What do you remember about hearing recently about Sinead O'Connor's death?
That she may have taken her own, yeah.
Oh my, yes, yes. So according to the coroner's office, they came out on Tuesday and said that she died of natural causes.
Really?
Yeah.
Did he say what he meant by natural causes, or just heart failure? He didn't say anything. Just natural causes.
They found her dead. She died of natural causes. End of story.
So to clear that up, because we did talk about this in a previous episode, and everyone, including myself, was speculating her son had done this.
Yes.
She was very depressed over her son's demise. So a lot of people thought she did it. Apparently she did not. She just died of natural causes. It happens.
There you go.
It does happen. It's
happens.
weird when people die younger of natural causes, but it does happen.
Broken heart, maybe. It happens.
I believe that's real. I've seen.
I do too. I do too.
People can die of a broken heart. I'm telling you, it's real. And that would probably be under natural causes, right? Think about couples who have been together for 50,
like 50
60 years. As soon as one of them goes, the other one goes right after.
Yep.
Sadly, I just seen that happen recently. Real quickly, I had a conversation with a 92-year-old man. He was a World War II veteran. We were watching his grandson's baseball game, had a full hour-long conversation with this guy, completely coherent, and then his wife passed, and then like 2 months later he passed. His family said he just gave up, like he just quit eating. He just
what's the point?
Yeah, he just didn't care anymore.
So last else? One, you ready?
Oh, you got another? Okay, let's go.
Okay,
that's
so
cool.
I found this really interesting article because I'm nosy about stuff that I know nothing about. So last time we were talking about drums, and now I found this guy who's a YouTuber who has had this hobby. He doesn't make any money doing this, but he makes these videos, and his hobby has been to try to discover how to obtain Kurt Cobain's tone, so his sound.
Damn it, that's my article. That was the article I was going to talk about.
Oh, well, I'll let you talk about it. What did you learn?
No, it's actually fine. I'm totally cool with you doing it, and I'll just add to it.
Okay, so the thing that I found interesting, so the guy's name is AaronRash, and he's been putting together equipment. So the guitars, the microphones, the amplifiers, even going so far as to take stuff apart and put it back together differently to get the sound that he's trying to get. And then the thing that fascinated me was not just the rework and stuff, but the research that he did. So he's been spending time at Robert Lang's, that studio where they recorded
You're Right.
For example, You're Right. Yeah. And then also he was even talking to Ernie Bailey was his name, who was a guitar tech.
Yeah.
And Bob Weston, who was the assistant engineer, because he's focused on the in utero sound. So he did admit that most people don't remember details from that far back. With talking to them, putting everything together. And the thing that just amazed me is he would buy stuff, try it based on research on the internet, and then it doesn't work. So he sells it and buys something else and take shit apart. And it just amazed me.
Yeah. Nirvana
had a long article.
Yeah. Nirvana did have a very unique sound. I don't think Kurt Cobain, he was very open about telling people how to achieve his sound. Like, figured it out through years and years of trial and error. So yeah, you would probably have to have one of their guitar techs. Now, here's what I wanted to add to this. This was an article you found by Music Radar, right? Is that where you found it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I saw this same article, and of course, I'm like, I'm not a guitarist, but over the years, I've fiddled with guitar, and I've always tried to achieve that Nirvana sound, and I could never do it. I bought even the Mudhoney, the pedal, the Big Muff pedal. I bought, whatever amp, blah blah, and I could never get it. So this really intrigued me, but I was surprised that they didn't write about the other YouTube channel, NirvanaGuitars. Have you watched NirvanaGuitars? Okay.
No.
So this guy that you're talking about, AaronRash, who they
Yeah.
wrote the article about, him and the NirvanaGuitars channel have about the same amount of subscribers, like 40 something thousand subscribers. So they're very quickly catching up to me, and they're going to surpass me. I guarantee it, because they have such great content. I think the guy on the NirvanaGuitars channel has done a better job of capturing Kurt Cobain's, because he's done it from Incesticide, Bleach, Nevermind, In Utero. Like, he's captured all the sound.
All of it.
One of my subscribers told me that this NirvanaGuitars guy got to meet Chad Cobain, and because Kurt gave his half brother Chad Cobain a guitar. That's something Gary told me about when I visited Gary.
Kurt gave Chad a guitar, though.
Oh, that's cool.
And everybody in the band signed it, and he's already been offered like $1 million for it.
He won't sell it. That's pretty cool of him to do that, man.
Yeah,
because that'd be very tempting. And apparently Chad just recently auctioned it. He had held on to it for many years. Anyway, the guy from NirvanaGuitars actually went and met Chad Cobain and got to play the guitar that was being auctioned. I haven't seen the video. What I am saying is I'm so shocked that Music Radar didn't write the article about that guy instead of AaronRash.
Right. Well, one of them has a better marketing guy, I guess.
Dave Grohl apparently wrote more songs than you thought. I'm just going to go over them real quickly. I came across this very short article, 5 songs that Dave Grohl wrote, Nirvana songs that you didn't know he wrote. Now, everybody knew he did the riff and the drums for Scentless Apprentice. He wrote Marigold, but apparently Dave contributed to 3 other songs as well. Aneurysm, which surprised me because he would have just joined the band when they recorded that, Aneurysm. Matter of fact, I think the earliest, no, Danny Peters did the Grandma Take Me Home. That's why there's a Mudhoney poster in the video. If you watch the Sliver video, there's a Mudhoney poster behind Dave Grohl. And it's actually an inside joke. The guy who recorded the drums was Danny Peters from Mudhoney, not Dave Grohl, but Dave Grohl's in the video. So they were like, giving him a little whatever. So Aneurysm, I've never been able to pronounce this right. Somebody's going to correct me. Curmudgeon? It was like a European B-side. I remember my friend Ryan somehow getting it way back in the 90s. He had this European B-side, Curmudgeon, something like that. Dave contributed a lot to that. And he also contributed to Endless Nameless, which was a hidden track on the first 50,000 copies of Nevermind. No, that's backwards. The first 50,000 copies of Nevermind did not have the hidden track. And then after that, they did. But there was a hidden track about 12 minutes after the last song on Nevermind. This song called Endless Nameless would start playing. And Dave Grohl contributed a lot to that song. So I thought it was interesting. I thought he just wrote Marigold and Scentless Apprentice, and that was it. Apparently, he had his hand in a few others, too.
Yeah, and I thought that he wasn't allowed to contribute anything, and that he decided that he didn't want to go the way of Chad Channing, and so he just kept his mouth shut.
I think that Dave knew how valuable he was, but he was being modest about it.
Yeah.
Because everybody was saying, your band sounds so much better with this drummer. They weren't going to kick Dave Grohl out of that band. Maybe Kurt would get pissed off at him, or more likely Courtney would get mad at Dave. And then nag at Kurt, and then Kurt would harshly reprimand Dave. But Kurt never had any intention of getting rid of Dave Grohl. No, that was all Courtney. To go ahead and wrap this up, and I can't believe we did it within 30 minutes. If you can guess Marie's shirt, what it's referencing, she will
one more time,
get for you a shirt. 90. I have to be honest. I pride myself as this 90s expert, and I don't know what the hell this is referencing. So I'm interested as well.
Okay. I'm going to text you a picture.
Okay.
As soon as you see it, you're going to go,
Okay, I gotcha.
Okay, everybody, thanks for watching. We'll be back next weekend with another episode of American Grunge News. Question the narrative.
Bye bye.